Okay, so this part is just an extension. This is not in the GCSE, it's actually not even in the A-level, but I don't see why it isn't. I think it's worth actually seeing that this can be done. So if you don't want to do this part, you can skip this, it won't come up. But if you're interested in maths and you want to see how this could work, then I just wanted to show you this little extension that we have here. So this is when the a part of the ax squared plus bx plus c is actually a square number, and you can actually do a particular form of factorizing for this where you can write it in an ax plus b squared minus c form. So it's a little bit different to the previous part. In the previous part we said that it would have the a outside the brackets. You can actually put the a inside the brackets if this value is a square number. So let's just think about what this might look like, and this is really just for the people that are wanting to stretch themselves. For the 9x squared part, that's definitely going to have to come from a 3x part of the brackets, okay? It's got to come from that thing that we've got there. We know it's going to be something like this, because that's the only way that you would get a 9x squared. Now previously, we just halved this coefficient of the x that you'd have, so you'd have a 9 in there. But the trouble, if you had a 9 in this section, is that you'd be getting it way too big, because when you expand these brackets, you get the you get the 9x squared, and you get a 27x, you get another 27x, and then you get the 81. And so this bit is way too big. We wanted it to be 18x, but it's actually given us 54x. It's actually gone 3 times bigger. And the reason that it's gone 3 times bigger is because of the coefficient of the x that we have here. So depending on what this coefficient is, not only do we have to half this, but we also need to divide by this coefficient too, if we want to write it in this form. So you can definitely see how this is much more challenging than what we have done in the previous parts, the GCSE kind of parts. So not only am I now going to half the 18, but I'm also going to divide it by the 3. Let's just see if it works. So if I half the 18 to get 9, and then I divide it by 3, I will get 3. Let's see if this gives me at least the 9x squared and the 18x. So just expanding these brackets, you would get the 9x squared, you would get a 9x, and a 9. So you do actually get your 9x squared plus 18x plus 9. So actually we've got those first two terms. The thing is we've got this extra plus 9, so we need to get rid of that, and we still have that minus 7 from before. So this looks like, in this particular form, it would be 3x plus 3 squared minus 16. So you still subtract that number squared. That won't be changing because of this part that you have here. Okay, let's see if we can go to this one a little bit quicker. So this part, because it's a square number here, it's going to definitely be a 2y. And normally we just half this, but we're also going to have to divide by this as well. So we're going to do the 16 halves to minus 8. We're going to have to half it again because of this 2, and it would be minus 4. We'll double check if it works. We're also going to have to subtract the 16, which is from this part. And of course, there's still the plus 14 from before. So just double checking to see if that works. When we expand this bracket, you would get 4y squared minus 8y plus 16. Great. You then got the minus 16 and the plus 14. They cancel, and yeah, you do actually end up with this thing that we've got here. So the completed square form for this one is just going to be 2y minus 4 squared minus 2. Although if you were given this in the GCSE, I imagine you would just want to do the previous technique, but it's just kind of worth seeing that this can be done. Okay, I'm going to go a little bit quicker on this one. So the 100x squared is just going to be the 10x, and this time we're going to half this, but also divide by this. So half of 20 is 10, and then we're going to divide by 10, so we just get 1. So it's going to be 10x plus 1 squared, minus the 1 from the 1 being squared, minus the 13. So you get 10x plus 1 squared minus 14. I'm not going to do this one. You can just expand this yourself and check that it gives you this thing here. So there's a couple of these questions. You can have a quick go at doing these ones here. I'm going to do them in just a second. So if you want to pause the video and see if you can do this, then great. Otherwise, I'm just going to get straight to it. Okay, so it's definitely going to be a 5x for this part. I'm going to half the 10, so I go to 5, and also divide by the 5, and I do get the 1 like this. Make sure you also counterbalance this 1 squared you'll get at the end by subtracting 1 squared. That's definitely going to work out. You're going to get the 10x from that too. Okay, so this one might not have enough room on this line, so I'm going to just jump down. It's definitely going to be a 6x to get the 36x squared. I'm going to divide this by 2 to get 6, and then I'm also going to divide it by 6, and I get 1. So I get 6x minus 1 squared, and then I'm going to have minus 1 from the 1 and the plus 10. So it is 6x minus 1 squared plus 9. Okay, so in the next set of videos, we're going to be doing some of the applications of completing the square. Like I said, if you didn't want to look at this stuff here, it's not going to be in the GCSE, but the algebra, I think you can understand, and I think it's important to see that there's more than just what's on the GCSE curriculum. Found this video helpful? Then why not drop it a like and consider subscribing to my channel. If you'd like the next video in the playlist, you can click here to be taken straight to it. And as always, wishing you the very best for all your studies.